Welcome to the Online Marketing for Doctors podcast, the place to grow and scale profitable practices with your show hosts, Huyen Truong and Steve Tate.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Online Marketing for Doctors podcast. We are your hosts, Huyen Truong, and this is Stephen Tate.
Hi there.
And today we are going to talk about the 7 effective ways to nurture a relationship with your existing patients, or in other words, how to increase the patient retention rate.
Many practices make the mistake of focusing only on gaining new patients. They fail to effectively address the need to retain those that they already have. Did you know that the most valuable asset that a practice has is its existing patient database? Every practice wants and needs new patients, but your surest and most predictable source of new revenue is right under your nose. It comes from the loyal patients who already know your practice. It's also far easier, about 50% easier, to sell to existing patients rather than new prospects. Acquiring new patients is expensive. It can be up to 5-10 times the cost of retaining an existing one. But the average spend of a repeat patient is a whopping 67% more. Want more? There are further statistics on the value of existing patient reactivation versus new patient acquisition, such as the probability of selling to an existing patient is 60 to 70%, while the probability of selling to a new prospect is just 5 to 20%. A 2% increase in patient retention has the same effect as decreasing costs by 10%. And finally, a 5% reduction in the patient defection rate can increase profits by 5 to 95%.
Wow, that's interesting data. So the question is, why do patients leave? The average practice loses between 15 to 20% of their patients base per annum. Yes, only 7 to 8% will move out of your areas each year. Therefore, the rest of your patients are leaving for other reasons. If you're not tracking your numbers, this steady erosion of your patients can go unnoticed for years. And when you do notice, it may be well too late. One main reason for patients leaving a practice is that the practice does not stay in touch with them. If you don't stay in touch with your patients, they might think that you don't care, and they won't know what other services you are offering that may be of interest to them or their network of family and friends. And they won't be educated in understanding why they need to come in for regular checkups or to complete their treatment plan.
Now here's another important question. Why should you reactivate patients? The reason most, 68% of patients don't return and require the reactivation is due to perceived indifference, according to Professor John Gattinora from Macquarie University in his 2008 published research on the question, why do we lose customers? Basically, it means that a patient believes that if it doesn't matter to you if they return or not, then why should it matter to them? But we all know that is not true. It's so important to show how much you care by nurturing them with regular contact after each appointment, especially if they don't have any future appointments booked. Regular communication with your existing patients is critical. Internal marketing is the name given to this type of communication.
So the first effective method that we are suggesting is to develop internal marketing strategies. Internal marketing is all about building strong, lasting relationships with your patients. As we have seen, it's far less expensive to do what is necessary to retain an existing patient than it is to attract a new patient through external marketing. There are so many easy and inexpensive way or even cost-free things you and your staff can do to enhance the patient experience. Just start with little things, and you can begin to build a culture in your practice that will make your patient feel good about you and more likely to stay. Remember that your current patients are the audience for your internal marketing message. With internal marketing, you are talking to people who already know you, so it feels more comfortable.
The following are some best practice ideas that should be included within your internal marketing activity to retain existing patients more easily. 1, greeting patients with a smile. Number 2, answering your phone in person on the first or second ring. Number 3, calling a patient at home after a difficult or long session to see how he or she is feeling. You can send birthday cards to patients, send them a referral brochure, or even undertaking patient satisfaction surveys. A couple more ideas. You could send patient thank yous. You can implement a rewards program for loyal patients, or establishing on-hold marketing.
As you would imagine, I spend a lot of time on hold waiting to speak to doctors about their marketing. It continues to amaze me that there are so many practices who do not use on-hold messages. If you don't have one, you are missing out on a great opportunity to educate your patients about the services that you offer. Some more ideas on internal marketing strategy can include educating patients through seminars or webinars, holding live open house events. In my opinion, there is no other more friendly way to say thank you to your existing patients and hello to your future patients than to open your doors wide and invite them in. This is a wonderful opportunity to reach unlimited members of the healthcare community. Your open house gives you the opportunity to make connections in a casual and relaxed atmosphere when you and your staff are not busy doing your day job. Some other ways that you can try, such as undertaking email marketing for patient newsletter, posting on your social media, running offers, promotions, and competitions, setting appointment reminders, or keeping in touch via text messaging or maximizing recalls.
Wow, that's an extensive list, and you don't need to do all of them, but even adding 1 or 2 will start to change impressions with your patients. All right? Well, moving on to the second effective method of nurturing relationships is emailing. Now, email communication is one of the most cost-effective marketing methods you can implement. Start collecting email addresses as early and often as you can. Even if you don't currently have an email strategy prepared, these will prove very useful at a future time. Email marketing campaigns give you the opportunity to distribute information to a wide audience of patients at a relatively competitive rate. Research shows that email marketing has one of the best return on investment ratios. A patient newsletter demonstrates your concern for the people your practice serves and aims to strengthen that relationship. It is a convenient and impressive way to keep in touch on a regular basis, especially with patients that you may not see very often.
Another point that I like to add is that email is highly leveraged and is an automated process, giving you the opportunity to send a series of broadcasts at a scheduled time and in a particular sequence. Typically, 2 or 3 emails as part of the campaign is best for exposure because some email may be missed amongst the patient inbox, junk, or spam, or just their busy schedule. Email is quick, cheap, and you can often get analytics on how effective each broadcast has been. For example, open rates, click-through rates, for example. And another quick tip, you need to use catchy subject lines such as, "Are you interested in this?" to improve the open rates.
Great. Now, the third effective method to retaining your existing patients is posting them a letter. Using letters means we can add a personal feel to our communication with an added handwritten note or personal signature. You always have the opportunity to include marketing material like vouchers, printed newsletters, or a small token gift item in the envelope itself. Printing, folding, packing, and delivering letters, yes, it takes time and money. But the advantage is household letterboxes are not as cluttered as email inboxes, and the success rate can be much higher as it feels more significant to the receiver. Letters can be slower with no automated analytics on effectiveness, though, but they do add a personal touch and help keep your database up to date with current home addresses. Now, here is our pro tip for this. Use a 3M Post-it note with a handwritten, "Hi, insert patient name. Hope you are fit, healthy, and active. See you soon. And draw a smiley face to increase the conversion. Yes, and include book here.
Wow, good tip. I enjoy our listeners are enjoying this. Let's move on to number 4 methods of nurturing the patient relationship, which is phone calls. Phone call can be a most effective way to connect with your patients. However, it relies on having them answer the phone. Not always a guarantee in this day and age. If you need to leave a message, feel free, but always follow up with either another method to ensure that your patient is engaged. For example, sending an email with the mention of the missed call or an SMS. Practitioners who make these calls can get caught in delivering consultation over the phone. So our suggestions would be for a trained member of your admin team to deliver these calls. So we have a pro tip for you in this. The calls can be framed as a courtesy call to check in on the patient and extend the invitation and to help arrange their next appointment time.
All right, we're getting close to the end of the list, so keep listening. Now, the next one we'd like to suggest is an SMS message. This is an immediate and effective way to engage with your clients. It's hard to convey tone, though, through a text message, but with the right words, you can achieve a desired result. Make sure the message you send is a clear call to action and a simple process to act on. Complexity will only make it easier to confuse or distract the receiver, so keep the message simple and direct. You want another quick tip? Ensure people can click to book, reply, or call to you in the SMS message.
Now, moving on to the second last item of our list of the most effective methods to retain your existing patients is to host webinars. Webinars provide a great way to connect with your existing patients on a more personal level regularly. Your passion for healthcare and your interest in sharing your knowledge will help create meaningful, intimate connections and build trust in you and your practice. Especially if you want to promote a new treatment or service and want to invite your relevant existing patients to attend the webinar and learn more about this through an education-oriented webinar. That will save you a lot of time in terms of re-engaging with every single existing patient and showing your interest in ongoing patient education and advanced medicine. Unlike the challenges of live seminars, recorded webinars provide a vital flexibility for a time-poor professional community. But they also benefit your audience too, who can now watch your webinar when it suits their schedule.
So true. Webinars are an incredibly powerful way to create an authoritative and trustworthy brand for you and your practice. Establishing you as a trusted source for your existing patients and leveraging your valuable time. Actually, we are in the process of creating an online course teaching healthcare professionals on how to use webinars to increase your patients and referrals. The course teaches you how to generate new patients and referrals and retain existing patients on autopilot. Once it's up and running, there's no further work required on your part. Now, this is a brilliant way of automating your marketing, keeping you in consistent contact with your existing patients, leveraging your time, all while growing your practice. If you'd like to learn more about this course, check out the link below in our show notes to hear from us when the course is released.
Here's the link, onlinemarketingfordoctors.com/webinar-marketing-system. Now, moving on to the last item, which is to have incentive-based marketing. People are procrastinators, particularly when it comes to services such as dentistry, for example. They need a reason to come back to see you. Incentives-based marketing is a great way to get your patients to come back in. By using the right promotions, you can retain existing patients, attract new patients, and sell a wider array of services to patients who have traditionally participated in a very small segment of what you offer. Incentives can help you leverage the power of referral-based marketing too. More practices than ever are using this strategy to drive growth. Use a special offer as a low barrier to entry, making it really attractive for your client or patients to return to the clinic. Advise your patients on the new and better ways you can serve their health. Tell them of the fantastic new skills and technologies you now have as a result of your continuing professional development, and let them know how it can help them too. Remember, patients always want to know what's in that for me. How it's going to improve their life. So it's very important to be able to answer that in your offer.
And our final tip is to track the performance of your campaign. It's always useful to be able to track how effective each reactivation campaign is. To review results of each broadcast, you should identify a special code or appointment type that you can use to measure the number of rebookings.
Here are some reasons why your reactivations campaign don't succeed. First of all, you may have out-of-date contact details. You haven't got an up-to-date record of people's details, such as email address, phone numbers, and for example, your message won't be reaching enough people as it could. The second reason is random and spasmodic communication. If you don't regularly communicate with your community, they are not conditioned to listening. Remember, people want to feel valued continually, not just when you need extra appointments filled. So not just timely communications, but follow-ups too. The second reason is that the offer or invitation has no relevant value. If you haven't got anything relevant or special to offer to your patients to encourage them to return, why would they engage, right? Any communication or invitation must have a strong "what's in that for me?" or so that it resonates with your patients' needs and wants.
Or it is possible you're making it hard to book. There needs to be minimal friction to create a booking. Otherwise, people will delay or forget. So make sure your communications contain online booking links or reply buttons or call now buttons, etc. Or if you don't have a schedule of when you will do it. Consistency is key to filling your books. Don't be reactionary. Have it in the diary of when you are going to do it throughout the year, or better yet, have an automated platform to do it for you automatically. It can be that simple. Providing your schedule to your patients, saying something like, here's our monthly email, also reinforces your dependability and makes any further offer or communication feel genuinely part of your business communication process.
Well, we hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we are curious about what you have done so far to help retain your existing patients too. Our healthcare professional community would love to hear your comments. So please post in the comment section below in this episode. This section of Online Marketing for Doctors podcast has come to an end, unfortunately. But be sure to subscribe to more weekly marketing strategy and tactics to help you find the success you dream of. And don't forget to rate and review so we continue to bring you the best weekly content possible. If you want to listen to any particular topic, please fill out a 1-minute survey that we put in the link in our show notes so we can produce relevant podcasts for you. And if you want to be a guest on our show, wow, that's would be great. Email us and let us know what topics you would like to talk about.
Yeah, getting involved would be wonderful. This is the first podcast channel in Australia about medical marketing, and we aspire to make this channel a world-leading channel for the healthcare professional community. There are many benefits of being on our show, including, but not limited to, exposure to our healthcare professional community, including thousands of doctors, surgeons, specialists, dentists, and other healthcare professionals. We promote our podcasts on social media and Google, not just in Australia, but internationally, gaining you a strong global exposure. And you can use this podcast on your own website as blog post material. The podcast would be just a Q&A interview style format and would only take about 30 minutes of your time.
Thank you for listening to the Online Marketing for Doctors podcast with Huyen Truong and Steve Tate. Be sure to check out the archive section on our website for previous episodes at onlinemarketingfordoctors.com/podcast. And subscribe to the show so we can catch you at the next episode.